November, or sometimes they'll come in and they'll get in. Okay, you know what? I want to move in March. They'll go March to November, December.
So this is the
That's the sanctuary.
the big round sanctuary, and there's a circular walkway all the way around with houses all the way around in a circle.
That's correct.
So we're on the back side. We're on the front entrances. These guys.
This cottage is for sale. This one is not that expensive. I think that was the Swedish design, maybe Norwegian. Yeah. This one is going to need to be adopted very soon. The roof on it is getting rough, so this would be an adopted cottage.
Huh. It's got neat little shutters.
It's got neat contour lines, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's really sharp. Look at the little net on top there. See where the windmill thing?
Yeah.
It's got personality. All
The-
of it.
Got a cupola.
And everyone wanted to be around the Waldorf Tabernacle, and that's why you can see there's not much room here between cottages.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's this was the holy circle.
Okay. So each one of these are.
So this one right here is for sale. I don't know if this is an adopted cottage or not. It's getting close. This one actually has a nice roof and it's for sale. This would be a beautiful cottage. So I'm gonna jump into it. This one here is probably an adopted cottage. It has a big wraparound porch and then just a small single bedroom up top. Kind of like a barn look to it. So that would most likely be an adopted cottage. We demoed the one next to it. We demoed 2 cottages here.
Okay, now hold on. Come back. You're getting my face here.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. So, one of the points that we want to reiterate is these are historic structures. I'm used to dealing with historic structures that often get torn down. And it breaks my heart because it usually doesn't take that much, to kick them into shape. If you've got a team of people that are like-minded, that can take care of the most serious stuff. So, for example, this is an endangered cottage, and you talk to the person. You tell them, if you guys want to come here, what can we do?
Yep, so if you are interested in saving one of these historic buildings, here's what needs to happen. We need to find out, first of all, are you able or capable? We don't want to go and have somebody take over this project.
Sure.
And then just, they start to do it and then they fail and it hurts them and then, it kind of leaves it half
What we
done.
call a qualified owner or a qualified buyer.
But because we're on a floodplain here, they don't want us to rebuild anything. So
Right.
once it's gone forever. And this is one piece of history that'll never be seen again. And so, yeah, we're looking for people that are just ready to go and capable. So.
Okay, and let's reiterate that thing. There's this FEMA rule that I've known in Ocean City and St. Pete Beach when you've got big floods and they've got to pay out flood insurance. They'll basically tell you, look, we'll fix your house this time, but next time you either have to raise the house or tear it down.
Yep. My understanding is that they will pay out 3 times. After the 3rd time, they say either tear it down or raise it, and that's it. So if you do have flood insurance and your cottage floods, the government is willing to give you $30,000 of what's called ICC money. Depending on which insurance company you have, they'll usually give you 15 grand up front to start the elevation process, and then once it's all done, they'll give you another 15 grand at the end. Or some of the insurance companies will just give you 30 grand at the end once it's finished. And so that's a big amount. A lot of these cottages, you could get done for close to $30,000 to $40,000 for the smaller ones. So you almost can get it lifted and elevated for free if you have flood insurance and then it floods. If you buy flood insurance, they won't just give you the money. And flood insurance, depending on how big of a coverage you go for, used to be really affordable. They've been jacking up the rates. Now it's a couple grand a year. Usually it's around $2,000. But even if you add that in with the association fees, you're still cheaper than what it would cost for taxes in the state of Illinois. It's incredible.
And it's a private area, historic. The whole site here, 38 acres roughly of land, and you gotta have a heart to want to restore because you enjoy what you do. You want to live in an area like this and be community and be fun.
Yeah, it's a safe community
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
with like-minded people.
Yep.
Yep.
Here's another one that needs to be If someone doesn't adopt this one right now, it's going to need to be taken down. The roof on this one needs to be addressed immediately. The framing of the house seems strong and square, which is good. Once they start really kind of doing this, it's kind of too late almost, but it's really never too late. You can keep one board and rebuild the house if you had, but we just need someone to come in. So this is another one that is endangered.
If I may say, these homes are made of older wood. The wood was dried, KD'd when it's straight and level. Once they put underneath the beams across it, contour straightens out a lot just because of that alone. It may be crooked now, but you put it on there, the shift, get back, straighten up, put a roof on, you'll have a nice home.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. A lot of the lumber out here, it is so much better than the lumber you get
There's a
nowadays.
tabernacle in the surrounding area of the circle property.
This is another cottage that if it isn't adopted right away, this will have to come down as well. It's a small single bedroom one.
Straight.
It's actually really kind of cool, neat one. But if it comes down, it's going to be sad.
Okay.
I wish you'd have been here earlier. There'd been some more. But
These two are currently owned.
Yeah, I'm feeling that.
This one right here is owned by a lady who's going to be probably, we're either going to take it back or she's going to give it back with the other.
I don't think you hear it.
So,
property's
but
gonna
this
come-
one will probably be for sale soon. This is a bigger cottage.
Yes.
She's just not taking care of it. She's behind on her This right here is another endangered cottage. Now the beautiful thing about this cottage right here, not only does it have an awesome roof line peak to it, it's by itself. You're right here by the tabernacle, and it's already elevated. So it's kind of grandfathered in. It's got this special type of thing. Should you elevate it higher? Yeah, you could. But because it's already up pretty good, kind of grandfathered in, but you're gonna have to rebuild probably the whole second floor.
Roof line, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to redo it. Part of the floor came down, the second floor came down into the first floor. If this isn't taken care of right away, we're gonna have to take this down. We gotta save this one.
I mean, it'd be ridiculous. Again, in the circle
And it's
area,
got a lot more wide open
Absolutely.
yard.
And
It's
got
kind
a
of by
deck
more.
on the back as well.
and for the average flood problem, it takes and can withstand it. But
Yep.
the center part has dropped down. In fact, this is, I would call, on my end, an easier fix. But
There was a cottage here we had demoed.
another one that had to go.
Another one's gone forever.
In fact, I got things out of this, I remember, and I felt bad when I was up in that home. Posters on the wall, reminiscing the 70s and that when people were living in here. I was just really, your heart was going, say, wow, why,
Uh,
The river's right over